Alright, so we got our exhaust flanges cut here. We got one to go on this back pipe. We'll do in a minute. We got one already fit up here on the head. Hey everybody, welcome back. Saturday shop day. I think we're going to work on the Shovelhead project. We got to finish up the exhaust. Weld a kickstand to the frame if we can get a welder over there. Depends on how much other stuff we have in the way. And honestly, I think that might be it on the fabrication. We'll have to give it a once over, double check. But I think that might be it, and maybe we'll go ahead and tear it all the way down. Then we'll be ready to start getting some stuff cleaned up and painted. I gotta do some work on the motor. I need to modify the wheel we're going to use for the front. Lots of machine work still to do. We're going to shave the fork leg lowers and all that kind of stuff. So still lots of work to do on it, but all that stuff needs to be done after it's torn down. So just got to get the fab finished, which, like I said, I believe is just the exhaust and a kickstand on the frame. So we'll see what we can get done on that. I have decided to change up the exhaust a little bit last week. If you guys were here, we talked about making a chin spoiler that the exhaust goes into, and I thought it was going to get a little bit too funky and just not end up looking right. So it's going to go simpler on the exhaust, kind of curved slash cut back that flows with the bottom bend of the frame, and that's just what we're going to do. So we'll get that knocked out. We got to cut some exhaust flanges, you know, for where it bolts to the head, and then we'll have to draw up and cut some kind of brackets to hold the exhaust to the frame. So that's what we're going to get after here first. Welding a kickstand on the frame obviously isn't some big undertaking. I have kickstands in stock that we use all the time. They have a weld on perch. It's real basic stuff. So we'll get that done and then see about getting this thing torn apart. Alright, so we got our tips cut. This is what we're going to use in place of the chin spoiler like we had previously talked about. I just decided it was going to be too much of a mess to try to do that. So we'll get these last two pieces tacked up and then install the exhaust flanges and be ready to figure out some kind of mount to mount the exhaust. Alright, so we got our tips welded on. Go ahead and slip these back in here. What I'm thinking is we'll do one of two things. I'm thinking about a mount from like here to here on either side. Maybe a little kind of webbed out deal. Couple of round bungs we'll weld to the stainless pipes on each side with threads, and then a couple of bungs on here and here. So we'll have 4 mounting points. It's probably really overkill for lightweight short pipes, but screw it. So I guess the first thing we need to do is take a few measurements and jot down our dimensions we have for these two. Then I can go in, I'll draw something up on the plasma table. We'll cut those out, and then we have to machine up 8 bungs with copes so they'll fit nice on the frame and on the pipe. 2 different size copes, obviously 1 3/4 for the pipes, and I think this is 1-inch frame tubing, it looks like. So we'll machine all those bungs up, and then we can come attach everything. So we'll got a little bit of lathe work, a little bit of plasma table work, and we should be able to have something kind of cool. So I'm gonna grab a tape measure, we'll make some measurements, and then we'll come back. Alright, so looks like we got about 2 1/4 inches from center to center on this one. Same over there. So we'll just jot down, basically make a rectangle, but we'll make it look like something. So we got 2 1/4 wide, and I think we'll go 4 inches tall. So this is going to be a little tricky to do because the frame rail is on an angle and the exhaust comes straight down. So what I think I'll do is we'll make the 4 exhaust bungs first, get those located, tacked on, then we'll be able to measure. Our frame bungs are probably going to need to be 2 different lengths. So this is our hole dimensions, 2 1/4 by 4. So our plate, actually, you know what, we're going to go 2 1/4 by 3.5 for our hole dimensions, and then that'll let us make our plate around it that looks like something. So I'm going to go jump on the computer and do a little CAD work. So something happened with the audio here when we were doing this CAD work, but you can just watch along. Pretty simple process. I started out going one direction and wasn't happy with the way it looked. So you can see here I moved my whole pattern, ditched that, and then restarted. Just drawing up this kind of skeletonized exhaust hanger. So just drew it all up, getting rid of stuff, adding a bunch of fillets and radiuses to make it look nice and clean before we head out and cut it on the plasma. Alright, so we got our exhaust flanges cut here. We got one to go on this back pipe, we'll do in a minute. We got one already fit up here on the head. The bolt mounting holes on these heads, both of them are completely blown out, so this motor's going to come apart anyway. I'll weld all that up and fix that at a later date. And after we drew these up, we went ahead and blasted them out on the plasma, cleaned them up, and they are going to go like so on the exhaust. So now we got to figure out which way we want to mount them. I think I'm going to go for some even bungs on the exhaust, some little stubbies, and then it'll be a longer and a shorter here on the frame rail. So first thing to do is make up 4 bungs out of stainless that we can use to weld to the exhaust. And I got to try and figure out how we're going to get the TIG welder over here through this shop. That's kind of a mess, but for now we're going to jump over to the lathe and machine up 4 bungs. Alright, so we coped our 4 little pieces. You can see here, a little radius in there that'll fit our 1 3/4 pipe. And then we're just going to face these off, get them cleaned up, and we'll be ready to go back to the pipe. Alright, so we got our little plates here. And when we get the welder over here, we'll get the... Oops, zoom in so you guys can see. This will kind of go here. I may end up getting these chromed with the fender struts. Otherwise we'll like ceramic black them or something. This will go here. We'll do a bung here and a bung here, and have a nice exhaust mount. I don't know, maybe I'll put them kind of square to the front. And actually, I might remake these, because this top hole should actually taper in just a little bit. The frame, this tapers inward as well as front to back, so I may just redraw this real quick, move this in. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. It won't take too long. Just recut these. I'll throw these in a bin. We'll use them for something else one day. And I'm going to move this whole spacing in like maybe a ½ inch. And just skew this up a little bit, and it'll look better. Let me check our other side. Probably need to do the same thing. Actually, the other side seems to line up better, so I only have to redraw and cut one. So again, not a big deal. This is kind of the stuff you got to do when you're making all these custom parts. So we got one for this side that's going to work good, and I'll modify one to move the hole in. Alright, so we got our slightly modified bracket here. You can see moved it in. So that'll go here. The other one will go there. We're lined up with the frame nice. Away a little bit and up, and then make sure that's square to the front. Okay, I think I got it.
And then you're gonna weld it up.
Then I'm gonna put bungs on the front. Yeah, so just. Whoa, I don't worry about that. That's. Yeah, just if you can just push that in. Don't push too hard because that pipe will fall out. I think I got it. Yeah. Get these out real quick. If you ever weld stainless, grab me an Allen wrench, please, or just a little multi-pack or something. If you let the stainless cool with the bolt in there, it'll never come out. Oh yeah. So we got our first set of bungs on. Let's see if we can get this. All the fucking threads in the whole thing are shot or ripped out, so I can't bolt these on. I gotta fix the heads. So that's why it's kind of. All right. So just try to hold that. Make sure like this one and this one line up. You know, the two top ones. And then the bottom one will just fall into place by itself. You good?
You did.
It blows the ground off for your back tire. And an angle gauge. I know we just found one the other day. Might be magneted to, unless there's one there. I think there's one magneted. Oh, Juan's got. All right, so took our angle of our down tube to 13 degrees and our two bungs. We need one 1.22 inches long and one 0.575, top and bottom, two different lengths. We'll make these out of some cold rolled 3/4 inch round bar, cope our angles, drill and tap just like we did these, and then come back and fit them to the frame. We'll zap those to the frame, and we'll have this one side mounted. Alright, so we got our bungs for our frame made up. Go ahead and slip this in here. Then we'll get our second one in. And I don't think we're going to be able to get our MIG welder over here. And we put our TIG welder away already, so this may be where I call it for today, because when we get all the bikes out during the week, I can, in 2 seconds, grab the MIG, roll it over here, and zap these on. But I think you get our point here. We'll do the same thing on the other side, and then the last thing I'm going to do today is draw up like a, I don't know, a down tube filler panel or whatever you want to call it. This will be in here like so, and we're going to make a little filler piece to mimic these, just because I think it'll be kind of cool. So I'm really stoked with how these came out. They look really cool. Kind of something a little bit unique, I think, which is really hard to do with a shovelhead bobber. There's just so many of them, and the truth of the matter is they almost all look the same or very similar. So be happy to have just something, even just a slight bit different. All right, so we go up to the top of our frame here. We got about we'll do 1.5 inches. Then we come down here, we got 5 3/8, so we'll go 12 inch. Alright, so we'll take this up to the computer, draw this up, and probably cut it out and just get a look at what it looks like on here. Alright, so we're going to draw up this frame filler panel, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see here. We'll go start with a rectangle. Need to go 5.375 by 12. Okay. Put a little radius at the bottom, so we'll go here, here, there. Get our trim tool again here, and then now we're gonna just do some kind of cutouts in here. Let me think about how I want to do this. So I'm just playing with this, seeing what I like. There's no real plan. Just looking for something that's kind of a cool design that'll kind of go along with the design of the exhaust mounts. So there's no right or wrong. Just playing with it. So I like how this looks. I'm going to start adding in some fillets to round everything off. Let's see how that finishes it off. Put some 1/8 inch rivets up there, fillets rather. Let's go 200 on these. Put the last one right here. Cool. I think I like this. And we'll put this on a thumbnail drive, take it out to the table, blast it out, and go hold it up to the frame, see how it looks. Alright, so last little piece of the day. We got our frame filler cut. Accentuates the exhaust mounts, I think, pretty nicely. This will get welded up onto this frame. And I like it. I think it's going to be a pretty cool little look. Haven't seen that before. Be something kind of unique. And that's it. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for today. got this exhaust mocked up almost fully. Got to make 2 more bungs for the front pipe, and then we got to get the MIG over here and get those blasted onto the frame. We'll get our frame filler tacked up, and we'll be ready to take this thing apart, I do believe. So didn't get as much done today as I hoped. There's a lot of tedious work on this stuff, machining all these little bungs and all that stuff, but it is what it is. Progress is progress, and hopefully maybe next time we'll be getting this thing torn apart. So as always, appreciate you guys following along with us. Don't forget to check out the giveaway bike situation. We still do have that going on. It is not really getting too much action, so I don't know what we're going to do in that situation, but please check it out. And you know, it's your chance to enter to win a free bike for absolutely nothing. So check it out and let us know what you think about what we're doing here. As always, appreciate everyone, and we hope to see you next time at Gattis Garage.